Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered if a woman secretly craves you but is too guarded to admit it? Imagine sitting across from her, her words saying one thing while her actions whisper another, her silence screaming louder than any confession. The truth is, desire is rarely spoken out loud. It's hidden in her glances, her pauses, the way she remembers details you've long forgotten. And if you can recognize the subtle signs, you'll uncover a world of longing she's fighting hard to keep concealed. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will open your eyes to the truth she'll never put into words. But here's what many people fail to understand. When a woman is craving you yet hiding it, there is always an inner struggle at play. On one side, her heart beats faster when she thinks of you, when she hears your voice, or when she sees your name light up her phone. On the other side, her mind urges her to remain calm, to stay composed, to not give herself away too quickly. This battle creates a tension that you can feel if you pay close attention. She may hesitate before replying to your message, not because she isn't eager to respond, but because she doesn't want you to realize just how quickly she wanted to. She may act busy when you invite her out, not because she doesn't want to see you, but because she's trying to maintain a sense of mystery. Craving, when hidden, is a dance of contradictions. It is desire cloaked in restraint, longing disguised as nonchalance, and passion carefully tucked behind polite smiles. Think about the way her body moves when she's around you. She may fold her arms as though to appear distant, but then her feet will point towards you without her realizing. She may sit upright, pretending to be relaxed, but her nervous laughter, the way she plays with her hair, or the slight tremble in her voice will betray her. Human beings can hide their words, but rarely can they hide their energy. Her presence will tell you more than her sentences ever could. When she craves you, her energy shifts whenever you are near. It becomes more alive, more alert, more sensitive. She may attempt to maintain control, but her very aura will whisper the truth. Now, understand this. It takes courage for a woman to crave you silently. To feel deeply and yet remain reserved requires strength. She chooses to protect her emotions because craving, if revealed, can lead to vulnerability, and vulnerability can sometimes bring pain. She knows that admitting how she feels could change everything. So instead, she lets her actions speak for her. The way she notices your silence when you withdraw, the way she encourages you when you doubt yourself, the way she supports your dreams without making it about her, these are her love notes written in invisible ink. They are only visible to the one willing to look closely. But what makes these signs so powerful is not just that they reveal her craving. It's that they reveal how much you matter. People do not go to such lengths for those they don't care about. When she remembers the things you thought she'd forget, when she shows up for you even when she's tired, when she laughs at your jokes more than she should, it is because you have already carved a space in her heart. She may not declare it openly, but her life is subtly rearranging itself around you. And this is where many men make mistakes. They dismiss these small gestures, expecting grand confessions, not realizing that the quiet sacrifices often speak louder than any loud declaration. Consider the way she reacts when you draw closer to another woman. She may not say a word, she may even pretend to be unbothered, but her eyes will tell a different story. Maybe her voice will tighten just slightly, or she'll suddenly withdraw as thus. To protect herself from jealousy, she doesn't want you to notice. This isn't about possessiveness. It's about the reality that craving creates. When someone desires you deeply, the thought of losing your attention stings. She will not always admit it, but the signs will escape her when she least expects. That fleeting sadness in her eyes, that hesitation in her words, that forced smile, these are confessions without language. And then there's the matter of time. Time is one of the most valuable gifts a woman can give. If she is constantly making time for you, rearranging her schedule, or even sacrificing her rest just to listen to you, it is not an accident. She may present it as casual, saying things like, "Oh, I wasn't doing much anyway," or "I just happened to be free." But make no mistake, no one invests time repeatedly unless they feel a pull they cannot resist. Hidden craving always steals time from other commitments. It creates a gravitational pull that makes her want to be where you are, even if she has to pretend that it's just coincidence. There's also a certain duality in her communication. Sometimes she will be warm, open, and full of affection, but then at other times she will grow distant, as though trying to take back what she gave away. This push and pull is not confusion, it's conflict. She is torn between the desire to express her craving and the fear of exposing herself too soon. Her silence after a moment of closeness is not disinterest. It is her way of regaining balance. Her sudden withdrawal after laughter is her attempt to control what her heart wants to reveal. It is in these inconsistencies that the truth hides. Because craving, when suppressed, often creates waves, moments of vulnerability followed by moments of retreat. If you look carefully, you'll see that these changes in rhythm are signs of a heart that cannot settle because it is already drawn toward you. But perhaps the most telling sign of all is her investment in your growth. Ayo. Omen, who is craving you but hiding it, will pour herself into your journey in ways that others don't. She will ask about your dreams, not out of politeness, but because she wants to understand where you are headed. She will encourage you when you feel like giving up, not because it's convenient, but because she cannot stand to see you fall short of your potential. She will push you to be better, sometimes even challenging you when you hesitate, because your success is important to her in a way she doesn't always reveal. This kind of investment does not come from mere friendship. It comes from craving, a craving not just for your presence, but for your flourishing. And yet, there is beauty in this hidden desire. Because when craving is concealed, it becomes even more powerful. It becomes something that doesn't rely on words, but is rooted in actions. It becomes a force that shapes how she treats you, how she looks at you, how she positions herself in your life. It becomes the reason she smiles when you walk into the room, the reason her laughter is louder when you're around, the reason she notices when you're tired, the reason she feels a subtle ache when you're absent. Hidden craving is like fire beneath the surface, silent, invisible, but intensely alive. Now think of what this means for you. If a woman is showing you these signs, you have been given something rare. You have been entrusted with her unspoken desire, with her quiet longing, with her subtle devotion. And it is up to you to recognize it, to respect it, to handle it with the care it deserves. Too many people dismiss what they cannot see clearly, forgetting that the strongest emotions are often the ones unspoken. But when you truly understand the depth of a woman's hidden craving, you begin to see relationships differently. You stop taking attention for granted. You stop overlooking the details. You begin to honor the effort that others might miss. Because in the end, craving is not about possession or control. It is about connection. It is about that invisible string that pulls two people toward each other even when neither wants to admit it. It is about the way hearts communicate long before words ever catch up. And when a woman is craving you but hiding it, she is giving you a glimpse into the depth of her soul, a glimpse she doesn't share with just anyone. And when you begin to notice these patterns, you realize that what she hides is often louder than what she shows. Silence, when paired with craving, becomes a powerful communicator. You can see it in the way she pauses before answering your questions, as though she is carefully selecting words that will not reveal too much. You can hear it in the tone of her voice, softening when she speaks to you compared to others. You can even feel it in her absence, because when she is not around, the weight of her missing presence feels different. That is how you know she is not just another person passing through your life. Her silence carries meaning, her restraint carries desire, and her hidden craving becomes a language of its own. Hidden craving also manifests in the way she handles vulnerability. A woman who craves you will want to open up, to share her struggles, her fears, her doubts, but if she is hiding it, she may do so only in fragments. She might reveal just enough for you to see a glimpse of her inner world, but then she quickly pulls back, laughing it off or changing the subject. That hesitation is not rejection. It is trust in progress. It is her way of testing if you are safe enough to hold the parts of her that no one else sees. Because craving, when buried, doesn't just long for physical presence, it longs for emotional safety. When you see her teetering between openness and withdrawal, recognize it for what it truly is. Her heart craving connection, but her mind protecting her dignity. There is also a beauty in the way her admiration shows up disguised as curiosity. She will ask you questions that go beyond the surface. She will want to know what drives you, what inspires you, what hurts you, what you dream about when no one else is listening. She may frame it as casual conversation, but the depth of her questions will betray her craving. She is not just collecting information, she is weaving herself into the fabric of your story. She is looking for the keys that unlock the layers of who you are because she already feels drawn to you and wants to understand the soul behind the exterior. When you notice her curiosity lingering beyond the ordinary, know that it is not random interest. It is a reflection of a craving that words cannot contain. Sometimes craving hides in humor. Notice how she laughs at your jokes, even when they're not that funny. Notice how she teases you playfully, creating a safe space where tension turns into lightheartedness. That laughter is not just amusement, it is release. It is her way of letting her guard down without fully exposing her heart. Craving often uses humor as a shield, as a way to get close without appearing too vulnerable. So when you see her laughter shine brighter in your presence than it does with others, understand that it is not simply about the joke. It is about the joy you bring, the comfort you give, and the craving she tries to cover with smiles. Hidden craving also changes how she prioritizes you. She may not announce it, but you begin to notice that your messages don't sit unread for long, that your needs seem to matter more than others, and that your opinions weigh heavily in her decisions. Even if she disguises it as coincidence, her actions consistently place you in the center of her choices. This kind of prioritization is never accidental. People always make time for what or who they crave. So when her availability becomes a pattern, when her consideration for you begins to outweigh her excuses, it is because her heart has already leaned toward you in ways she cannot fully admit. Another subtle sign lies in the way she mirrors you. Psychologists call it mirroring, but in craving, it becomes instinctual. She might start picking up phrases you use, adopting small habits you have, or even reflecting your mood without realizing it. This unconscious alignment is her way of connecting with you on a deeper level. It's as though her body and mind are trying to sync with yours, to create harmony that feels natural and unforced. Mirroring is rarely intentional. It is the subconscious revealing attraction. So when you notice her gestures, expressions, or rhythm echoing yours, take it as a whisper of her hidden desire. And then there is her sensitivity to your approval. She may not admit it, but your opinion matters to her far more than she lets on. If you compliment her, you might see her light up in a way that no one else can provoke. If you critique her, even gently, you might notice her heart sink, even though she tries to hide it behind composure. When a woman is craving you, your words carry weight, your validation becomes significant, and your disapproval stings more than she wants to admit. This is not weakness. It is the natural outcome of desire. When someone craves you, they become more sensitive to the energy you give them because it directly affects how they feel about themselves in your presence. You may also notice her craving in the way she protects her image around you. She might suddenly grow more conscious of her appearance, adjusting her hair, straightening her clothes, or choosing her words carefully. She may act more composed than usual, not because she wants to deceive you, but because she values the way you see her. Craving has a way of matter. King people want to present the best version of themselves. So when she goes out of her way to maintain poise, even in casual settings, it is her silent effort to remain desirable in your eyes. Hidden craving reveals itself in absence as much as in presence. If she seems restless when you pull away, if she grows unusually quiet when you distance yourself, or if she tries to fill the silence with small talk just to keep you engaged, it is because she feels the void more intensely than she admits. A woman who craves you will not always chase you openly, but she will find subtle ways to pull you back. Sending a casual message, asking a light question, or reminding you of something small. To the untrained eye, it looks like friendliness. But beneath the surface, it is her craving calling out, her way of keeping the connection alive without exposing her heart too much. And perhaps one of the strongest signs is her unspoken trust. She may share things with you that she doesn't share with others, not grand secrets, but personal thoughts, private reflections, vulnerable moments. She may act as if it's no big deal, but in reality, it is her craving that has drawn her closer to you. Because craving always carries an element of trust. Trust that you will not misuse what she gives. Trust that you will not ridicule her openness. Trust that her longing, even if unspoken, is safe with you. When you see her offering pieces of herself, recognize that this is not casual. It is the quiet echo of her hidden craving, speaking in ways words never could. All of this brings us to an undeniable truth. Hidden craving is not a weakness, but a strength. It reveals the depth of her restraint, the discipline of her emotions, and the value she places on your connection. It is easy to shout desire from rooftops. It takes far more courage to feel it deeply and still guard it with dignity. And yet, then when hidden, craving cannot stay invisible forever. It seeps into body language, into energy, into the smallest of gestures. It shows up in the way she looks at you, the way she listens, the way she responds, the way she prioritizes, the way she laughs, the way she protects her heart. And the more you understand this, the more you realize that hidden craving is like a secret rhythm playing in the background of every interaction. It is not always loud or obvious, but it is always present if you learn how to tune in. The way she chooses her words with you is different from the way she speaks to others. She may slow her tone, emphasize certain parts of her sentences, or let her voice soften without meaning to. That shift is not rehearsed. It is instinctual, driven by a pull she can't ignore. Craving has a way of slipping through cracks in the armor, and when you listen closely, you hear it in every syllable, in every pause, in every moment of hesitation that lingers longer than it should. There's also the way she celebrates you. She might not be dramatic about it, but notice how her pride shines when you achieve something, no matter how small. Perhaps you accomplish a task at work, or you make progress toward a personal goal, and while others clap casually, she feels it deeply. Her joy for you is genuine, and it goes beyond surface-level support. That is the mark of craving. When your victories feel like hers, when your growth gives her satisfaction, when your light adds to her glow. She may hide the depth of that joy, disguising it as friendly encouragement, but underneath, it is fueled by her longing to be part of your journey. Sometimes, craving makes her protective. She will care about who you surround yourself with, not because she wants control, but because she silently worries about you. She might question your choices, suggest alternatives, or show discomfort when she thinks someone is taking advantage of you. To others, it may look like concern, but to her, it's something deeper. It's the quiet ache of wanting you safe, of craving not just your presence, but your well-being. She won't always say it directly, but her protectiveness is another layer of her hidden desire, a way of showing that you matter more than she's willing to admit. And pay attention to how she listens. With others, she might nod politely or half engage in conversation. But with you, her attention sharpens. Her eyes lock in, her body leans closer, her silence stretches longer, because she is not just hearing your words, she is absorbing them. Craving creates a hunger for connection, and listening becomes the way she feeds it. You may not notice it immediately, but think back to conversations where she remembered things you didn't even realize you said. That memory is not random. It is her craving etching your words into her heart, even when she tries to appear casual. Then there are the moments of contradiction. She may act distant one day, then warm the next. She may claim she's too busy to talk, only to appear moments later with a thoughtful message. These fluctuations are not a sign of disinterest. They are signs of restraint, battling desire. Craving wants to draw closer, but fear urges her to step back. And so, she moves in waves, sometimes advancing, sometimes retreating, because hiding her longing takes effort, and effort is never perfectly consistent. If you pay attention, you'll see that her contradictions are not confusion, but evidence of how deeply she feels. Her craving also appears in her subtle efforts to impress you. Maybe she dresses a little differently when she knows she'll see you. Maybe she goes out of her way to mention an accomplishment, hoping you'll notice. Maybe she takes extra care in her words, her appearance, or even her mannerisms, not for the world, but for you. These things may look small, but they are intentional. When someone craves you, they want to be seen in their best light, and even if they hide the longing, their effort betrays them. Notice too how her energy shifts when you give her attention. A single compliment may brighten her entire mood. A small gesture of kindness from you may stay with her all day. The impact you have on her is disproportional compared to others. And that is because craving magnifies everything. Your words weigh more, your actions last longer, your presence lingers stronger. She may try to hide her reaction, but the sparkle in her eyes, the subtle smile, the way she replays the moment later in her mind, those are the footprints of hidden desire. Sometimes, craving reveals itself in competition. She may not openly admit she feels jealous, but her actions will show it. Perhaps she asks subtle questions about someone you mentioned, or her tone changes when you talk about another woman. Maybe she suddenly redirects the conversation, eager to pull your attention back to herself. She may pretend it doesn't matter, but the truth is, it does. Hidden craving is sensitive to rivals, even if she hides it behind composure. It's not about insecurity. It's about the silent ache of wanting to be the one who holds your gaze. Even the way she withdraws can be a sign. There will be times when she pulls away, not because she doesn't want you, but because she wants you too much. Craving makes her vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel overwhelming. So she may retreat temporarily, convincing herself that distance will protect her. But if you notice, she never truly stays away. She always finds her way back, because the pull is stronger than her fear. That cycle of retreat and return is one of the clearest signs of hidden craving. It shows a heart caught between desire and self-protection. And when she does let down her guard, even briefly, you'll see the truth more clearly than words could ever express. It might be in the softness of her eyes, in a slip of affection in her voice, or in the comfort she allows herself to feel in your presence. Those fleeting moments are raw glimpses of her hidden longing, and they are more honest than any direct confession, because craving, even when concealed, cannot always be contained. It spills out in whispers, in gestures, in the smallest details that most people overlook. There's also the way she subtly places you into her future. She might talk about things she wants to do, and without thinking, include you in the picture. Maybe she mentions a trip and says, "We should go there one day," or she talks about a goal and frames it in a way that involves you. To the untrained ear, it sounds casual, but to the observant, it is a sign of craving. Her imagination is already writing you into her story, even if she hides it beneath playful remarks. And then there is the unexplainable comfort she seeks in your presence. She may not say it out loud, but when she's near you, her guard lowers just a little. She may sigh more deeply, laugh more freely, or simply relax in ways she doesn't with others. Craving creates that comfort because, deep down, her soul is drawn to yours. Even if she hides it, even if she resists it, her body and mind surrender to the safety and warmth she feels when you are around. That comfort is not coincidence. It is her craving finding relief in the presence of what it longs for. The truth is, hidden craving is both delicate and powerful. It is delicate because it wears a disguise, careful not to expose itself too soon, but it is powerful because it changes everything about the way she moves, speaks, listens, and reacts. You don't need her to say it aloud to know it's there. You only need to pay attention, because when a woman craves you but hides it, she leaves behind a trail of signals, subtle yet undeniable, quiet yet thunderous, small yet deeply significant. And if you look even deeper, you'll notice that hidden craving has a way of slipping into the simplest, most ordinary interactions. It doesn't need grand gestures or dramatic confessions to reveal itself. It shows up in the way she pauses when you enter a room, the way her conversation momentarily stumbles before she gathers herself again, the way she tries to mask the sudden rush of warmth with a casual smile. Craving is not always fireworks. It is often the quiet, almost invisible shift of atmosphere that only the two of you can feel. It is the weight of her attention resting on you even when she pretends to be focused elsewhere. Consider the way she uses silence. Silence in the presence of craving is not emptiness. It is fullness restrained. When she grows quiet around you, it isn't because she has nothing to say. It is because she is carefully managing everything she doesn't want to spill. Her silence becomes charged, a language in itself, heavy with all the unspoken thoughts, the hidden admiration, the desire she is holding back. You may find yourself feeling that silence, sensing that something deeper lies beneath the surface. And you're right, because silence is often where craving hides most powerfully. You'll also notice how she creates opportunities to cross paths, opportunities that might seem coincidental on the outside, but are far too consistent to be chance. She may show up where you are, or she may align her schedule with yours without ever admitting it. She frames it as casual, but deep down she is following the pull of her longing. Craving doesn't always announce itself directly. It shapes behavior, influencing choices that place her closer to you while keeping her dignity intact. She tells herself it's coincidence, but her heart knows better. And if you're paying attention, you'll know better too. Another subtle expression of hidden craving is her adaptability. Watch how she adjusts herself to fit into your world. If you're passionate about something, she takes an interest, not to impress you superficially, but because she craves alignment with what you love. She may listen more intently to the music you enjoy, explore the books you mention, or dive into the hobbies you're passionate about. This is not imitation, it's resonance. Her hidden craving wants to connect with your essence, to walk alongside the rhythm of your life, to find a bridge between her world and yours. And then there's her body language when she is unaware of being watched. Craving often leaks through when guards are down. She may look at you longer than she should, only to glance away quickly if you catch her. Her smile may linger after your conversation has ended, as though the echo of your presence stays with her. These unguarded moments are raw and telling. They reveal a truth she might never put into words, that you occupy her mind even when she tries to convince herself to stay composed. Her hidden craving also surfaces in the way she engages with your struggles. While others may listen with polite detachment, she invests emotionally in what you're going through. She may offer encouragement, practical help, or simply her presence when you need it most. Her desire to ease your burdens, even at the cost of her own convenience, is not random. It is craving disguised as kindness, devotion masked as simple support. What she feels is not obligation, but an unspoken pull to protect, to comfort, to strengthen you when life grows heavy. Pay attention, too, to how she handles touch, even the smallest forms. If her hand brushes yours, and she lingers a moment longer than necessary, if her hug lasts a fraction of a second more, if she positions herself close enough that your shoulders graze, these are not accidents. She may frame them as casual gestures, but craving often reveals itself in proximity, in the subtle magnetism of touch that refuses to remain neutral. Every small contact becomes a quiet confession, every accidental brush, a silent declaration of the longing she carries within. Hidden craving is also revealed in the way she remembers the things you don't even recall saying. That random comment you made in passing, that offhand remark about what you enjoy, the subtle hint about what makes you happy. She stores them like treasures. And when she brings them back later, you're surprised that she remembered. But she didn't just remember. She held on to them because they mattered. Craving sharpens memory. It heightens awareness. It makes her attentive to details that others let slip by. This attentiveness is not casual. It is the mark of a heart that is already invested, already longing, already deeply connected. There's also a spiritual quality to hidden craving. Sometimes it's not about what she does, but about the energy she carries when she's near you. You can feel her presence shift the atmosphere. Even in a crowded room, you can sense her attention directed your way. She doesn't have to say a word. Her energy already communicates everything. That is the power of craving. It radiates. It moves silently between souls. It creates a current that can be felt even when unspoken. And then comes the test of time. Hidden craving is not fleeting. It lingers. While casual interest fades quickly, true craving sustains itself in consistency. Days pass, weeks go by, and yet she continues to show up in the same quiet, subtle ways. She continues to prioritize, to notice, to invest, to care, even without naming her desire. That persistence is not habit. It is longing sustained by something deeper than temporary attraction. Craving that endures is craving that has roots, craving that grows quietly beneath the surface, craving that waits for the right moment to be revealed. What makes hidden craving so profound is the dignity with which it cloaks itself. She may want to confess, but she values her emotions too much to risk laying them bare recklessly, so she ideas them not to deny them, but to preserve their meaning. In this way, her craving is not only desire, it is respect, it is reverence, it is a sacred acknowledgement of what she feels. And that makes it even more powerful, because when a woman craves you but hides it, she is proving that her longing is not shallow. It is something she treasures deeply, something she carries with grace, something that shapes how she sees you and how she moves around you. And when you realize all of this, you understand that hidden craving is not a mystery to be solved. It is a gift to be honored. To see it is to recognize the vulnerability behind her restraint, the longing behind her composure, the truth behind her silence. To witness it is to step into a space of trust where her heart is speaking louder than her words, even if she never intends for you to hear it.